Hi, I'm Susie Garden, and this is the Ageless and Awesome podcast. I'm an age-defying naturopath and clinical nutritionist, and I'm here to bust myths around women's health and aging so that you can be ageless and awesome in your 40s, 50s, and beyond. The Ageless and Awesome podcast is dedicated to helping women through perimenopause and menopause with great health, a positive mindset, and outrageous confidence. Hit subscribe or follow now, and let's get started. Hello, gorgeous one, and welcome to Q&A Thursday with me. So this week, I wanted to address mindset and weight loss, because this one's not a specific question from an individual. This is just something that comes up a lot when I'm doing pre-screening calls with my prospective clients, I guess you'd call it. It comes up a lot. So I just wanted to address it and talk about it because it's really important no matter what kind of health journey you're on, what kind of weight loss journey you're on, whatever program you're using for that, this will still be relevant. So let's get into it, because as you know, on Thursdays, it's always a bit of a shorter podcast, just kind of a quick snippet. And before I get into it, I just want to remind you that if you are interested in working on your hormones, your skin, your weight, or anything else with regard to what I do in my work, and if you're not quite sure what I do, then go to susiegarden.com and check out the Glow Protocol. But yeah, if you are looking and interested, my prices are going up this Saturday. So that's this Saturday, the 18th of November. So if you book in for a discovery call prior to then, or if you can't make it this week, if you book it in for next week, that's totally cool. I'll honor that. I just would love to get as many people as possible in at the current price before it goes up for good. So anyway, get back to our topic, which is weight loss, or really health journey mindset. This is something that is super important and I don't think is always thought about by people when they're looking at making changes to their health and well-being and weight. And that is that, generally speaking, when you are embarking on this type of journey, it kind of needs to be a long-term focus. When you're looking at any kind of program that's going to bring a change in your weight, in your well-being, if you're just doing it for a short period of time and then you think, great, this 12 weeks or this 6-week challenge at the gym or whatever it is that you're doing, that time's over. Awesome. I've achieved whatever goal. Back to doing what I like to do, what I've been doing in the past, what I'm used to doing. It's just going to undo all of that good work. And this is something that I think is really important to think about if you are considering going on some sort of health and well-being journey, either now or next year or any time in the future, is that when you're making these changes, they need to be changes that you can sustain over a long period of time. That's one part of it. So when you're choosing a program to do, then have a look at, is this something that I can do forever, or an iteration of it anyway, forever, for a long period of time? That is really actually very important. If you're doing something, and I see this a lot with keto, where people can do it often for a few months, 6 months, maybe a year. Unlikely, but some people can get it to even to 2 years. But generally speaking, a lot of the women I work with have done something like that, like keto or paleo or intermittent fasting. And they find that over that longer term period of time, yes, they'll get a result in the short term, but over a longer period of time, it becomes quite difficult to sustain. And so you just do need to consider that when you are looking at these types of programs and what you're wanting to achieve. What I find is that if people have a health issue, we're making these changes to diet, movement, stress management, whatever it is, when there is a health issue and those symptoms are relieved by doing these different things, whether it's food or movement, etc., then there's a whole bunch of motivation to keep doing it, right? Because you can feel it in your body. You've got less body pain, better sleep, better hormones, all the rest of it. So that I find with people that actually have medical conditions, and I do work with a lot of people with significant medical conditions, then they do really, really well on my programs because they feel good, usually within a week or two. Bloating goes, energy goes up, sleep improves, reflux symptoms, if they're present, tend to go very quickly as well. And yeah, you can see this massive improvement in quality of life versus someone who comes into my programs just for weight loss and that don't have any other medical conditions. Often there's a mindset there that, oh, I'll do this for a particular length of time, achieve my goal weight, and then I can just go back to party town, essentially. And unfortunately, if you are someone that has that type of metabolism where you do tend to put on weight pretty easily, it's not going to take long for there to be this yo-yo effect where your weight just ends up going back up to where it was if you're going back to that same sort of lifestyle. And I think it's a really important thing to consider, particularly if you are investing in a program, is this something that's going to actually fit into my lifestyle, particularly like if you travel a lot, for example, for work, or you are, I don't know, do a lot of socializing or whatever. You got to work out, is the program I'm doing going to actually support my lifestyle and allow me to do the things that I want to do, but give me some sort of boundaries, I guess is a word, or be able to keep maintaining all of the great things that you achieve while you're doing that program. And a lot of this comes down to mindset. And one of the major mindset tools that is around really is journaling, and is actually asking yourself those deeper questions about, what am I really wanting to achieve? A lot of people, when they come to me, they're wanting a certain weight loss goal. But when I always sort of encourage them to do some journaling around, well, why are we doing this? What are you going to have in your life when you achieve that goal that you don't currently have? How is that going to serve you? Who are you going to be when you've lost, let's say it's 25 kilos? That really changes a lot of things. And I was having a discussion this morning with one of my gorgeous clients who, oh my gosh, she's lost 20 kilos and she's just at that kind of 100 kilo mark. And I find this a lot with people that head towards that 100 kilo mark. And there's this change that goes on in the mind of, oh, hang on a second, if it's been 15, 20 years since you've been below 100 kilos, and you start to think to yourself, okay, well, I'm going to be a different person when I'm under 100 kilos. So sometimes there can be a little block that crops up when you start getting close to goal, whether that's a goal of getting under 100 kilos, whether it's a goal of getting to, if you're 70 kilos and you want to get to 60, whatever it is. Often when you start to get close to that goal, that's when these blocks start to come up and you start to self-sabotage because of what you perceive that means when you get to that goal. I hope this is making sense. I'm kind of talking a bit off the cuff today. So if you are someone that's considering doing some sort of health or weight loss program, ask yourself these questions and take some time to do it. This is the thing, is actually taking the time to sit down, to center yourself, maybe just close your eyes and take 3 beautiful, big, deep breaths and allow the tension to release out of your shoulders and out of your neck and out of your jaw. And just sit for a minute, become very present, feeling the weight of your body through your seat or your feet or whatever parts of the body are touching a chair, or if you're sitting on the floor or whatever. Really get your nervous system kind of regulated, kind of grounded, And then ask yourself these sorts of questions. And one of the big things with journaling is you don't edit. So you just allow the pen to write without filtering, without editing, even if it's just doesn't even make sense. Just allow the pen to flow to get this out of you. And you could then even just close the book and walk away, and that's fine. You don't actually need necessarily to get sensible kind of language in there. It's just about getting whatever comes up out of your head and onto paper and gone. Sometimes you can use this to help you actually set some goals around what you really want. So maybe in your mind, you're saying, I want to lose 10 kilos, but maybe what you really want is to feel comfortable at the beach this summer so you can play with your kids and not feel super self-conscious. And maybe that's a goal you want to achieve. So by kind of using some questions to guide you, such as the ones I mentioned before, especially what will you have then that you don't currently have? That's a really powerful one. That can really help you work through your mindset so that you can make a clear decision about what you want to achieve, or it's even potentially what you want to let go of. That's also a big one. Letting go can be quite challenging. So journaling would be, and from a centered place, like I described, would be a big part of what I recommend that you do if you are looking, particularly as we get towards the end of the year. That's when the New Year's resolutions start kind of coming into mind. It's when there's potentially some regrets about what you haven't done in 2023 that you thought you would, particularly if it's around health. Really think about, do I really just want to keep going year to year, doing the same things, getting the same outcomes, feeling a way that I don't want to feel, potentially? Or do I actually need to bite the bullet to really make some changes, even though that might be challenging, even though you may not even know what those changes are? And that's why there's people like me around. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say on the podcast today. That more important than anything, whatever program you decide to choose, or whatever way you decide to go, getting the mindset right first is a huge part of getting towards where you want to go and where you want to be. So I hope that's helpful. And that really can be applied to anything in life. So if you have questions, if I haven't quite made sense today, please feel free to DM me at Susie Garden Wellness, or you can drop me an email, hello@susiegarden.com. I'd love to know what you think about what I've had to say today. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next Tuesday. Thanks so much for joining me today on the Ageless and Awesome podcast. If you liked today's episode, please make sure you click the little plus button if you're on Apple Podcasts, or the follow button if you're on Spotify, so that you can get each new episode delivered to you every single week. If you like free stuff, and who doesn't, then head over to susiegarden.com and grab my 8 essential age-defying secrets every woman over 40 should know right now. Or if you'd like to continue the discussion, head over to Instagram and DM me at Susie Garden Wellness. I'd love to connect with you.